So I had to play that to introduce our next guest, man, because he's young, black, and he's successful, man. Shout out to the homie, man, A-Guy from the Shy, man, for making that, man. The Streets of Radio with Brian Stinson, YTS Keys. Our special guest co-host, man, is the awesome, man, Lil Woo in the building, man.
Yes, sir, we here.
We definitely gonna jump into it as far as his movement, man, share some dope music, and I actually got a surprise for Woo that Woo doesn't know.
Oh, snap.
I'm super, excited about doing it. I know that not only is he gonna be surprised, but when people go back and watch it, family members, they're gonna be like, "Oh my God, no, he didn't just." so I got that surprise, man. Our guests, man, in the building, man. You know, I always love diversity. I always love spotlighting business entrepreneurs and everything, man. And when my young bro Ryan reached out to me, he was like, "Man, how long are we on Fusion Radio, man?" I was like, "Absolutely, man. We definitely got to celebrate you and you being a business entrepreneur at a young age, man." So what I want to do is have you pronounce the name of your clothing brand for those that's listening on live and those that's listening on the radio, man. What's the name of your clothing brand?
All right, the name of my clothing brand is pronounced Meliora, but it's a Latin word for pursuit of the better, but I kind of put my own twist on it, Americanized it, so we pronounce it Meliora.
All right, so man, let's talk about, man, what inspired you to start your own clothing brand, man, and then we'll get into some other things.
What inspired me to get into my own clothing brand, I just always had a love for fashion, and I got an older sister named Kira, but she used to be into modeling, and she just always got me and my younger brother into the clothes and fashion early on. So just incorporating that into my everyday life. I play sports as well, but that's really what got me into the fashion.
Okay. So how old are you?
I'm 22.
22. You need a business on that 22. An entrepreneur got his own clothing brand. And the clothes actually look good though. I was looking at your jacket at first. I didn't even peep that's your jacket at first. I thought that was your logo.
Okay, yeah, I didn't even peep that in.
So I ain't gonna lie, I like that though. So for the people that see your clothes and stuff like that and they want to buy your clothes, how do they go about that process and getting the clothes?
So right now my website is under construction. I plan on having my first drop at the end of this month, but I have an Instagram account, which is _ Meliora Clothing, and it's usually just by DMs. They usually DM me, tell me whether they want to purchase a hoodie, fitted or trucker, then go by details and sizes and usually find a price and then figure it out from there.
Amen. What was your first piece of clothing you made?
A pair of shorts.
Yeah, shorts.
I made that in high school, Miss Van Sickle class. It was a life skills class that I did not want to take, but I needed extra credit. And my mom was like, "You should take a life skills class." So I remember we had made a pair of shorts. My mom, she still wear the shorts to this day, but I made them shorts when I was 15. So that was 7 years ago.
Amen. That's dope, bro. For real, bro.
So, man, you being a young CEO, man, and everything, man, take us into your day-to-day, man, responsibilities with your clothing brand.
So, a day in the life for me, or an off day, a day in the life probably would be waking up early, hitting the gym. After I hit the gym, I usually check if I got orders or anything. Usually go take care of that. I make sure I handle my business first before I hang out with my family and friends and everything like that, but take care of my business. I try to stick to a routine too. That's very important. Time management is very important with being a CEO, because that's one thing you can't get back is time. So you got to always make the most of your time. So,
and I wanted to definitely jump into also, man, to build on that, man, is you being a young African-American, man, entrepreneur from Chicago, man, and trying to defy all the odds, man. Take us in, man, because, one thing that I shared with my mother just recently is that I noticed, and this is a great thing, man, that the younger generation, man, they want to be their own boss. They don't want to work for nobody. They want to start their own clothing brands, which is great. My dad was putting me up on 2 videos this past weekend of kids as young as 12 years old. One started a landscaping company where he was like, man, killing the game with landscaping, and got some of his friends, and they helped assist with stuff and paid them and all that stuff. And then there was another young man that I think it was in Detroit that he was cutting hair in the high school bathroom. You know what I'm saying?
So,
he got caught up and ended up getting suspended, but the school actually admired the fact that he was doing something positive, and he ended up getting set up with this barber college that wanted to invest in him and everything as far as his future. And so I say all that to say that, man, you being young and all that stuff, man, and everything, I want you to go into like, how are you define the odds, and then share some nuggets with some people to encourage them, man, to go out there and definitely follow their dreams as far as being a business entrepreneur themselves.
Well, as far as just defining the odds, I feel like you just gotta learn to better yourself. Cause that's life. It's gonna be more ups and downs. It's gonna be adversity. It's more so how you bounce back in life. So what I would say probably is to find your niche. Don't be afraid to try new things. And like for me, I'm actually a college dropout, and a lot of people don't know that. So I try to like share some nuggets and let people know that school is great to get your degree, but that shouldn't define your knowledge. Like I feel like people at school and having that degree and getting that specific job determine their limits. And I feel like as long as you believe in yourself, you got to believe in yourself first, but the sky's the limit. And you got to put the work in. And then when it's time, when God's time, and then it's time. But as far as that, put in the work in, you got to also, don't be afraid to go the extra mile. Like I like to tell me and my friends, like, if we don't want to live average life, so you can't have an average mindset. So waking up earlier than everybody, staying up later than everybody, even when we in the gym doing that extra rep, it's everything. It's always the little stuff that matters. So
For sure. If you could you expand on a little bit more, like, because I heard you say you were a college dropout, and it kind of stuck with me a little bit because I'm a college dropout. But when I decided to make that decision, it was more about like, financially I can't really afford it, and then I had to sit down with myself and be like, what am I really doing here? Is this really what I want to do? So at that time for you, like, what was really going on that made you make that decision? Like, yeah, this really ain't for me.
So a lot of people know and a lot of people don't know, but I played collegiate baseball and everything. I played baseball. So let my grades slip. It was my first time being on my own, living by myself, so partying. And I having my mom in my ear. So it was just being on my own, but it always a learning lesson. But as far as like coming home and everything, I had support. Like, it wasn't like they didn't think I wasn't gonna do nothing with my life, because they understood, like, my mom always would tell me everybody got a different path. So that's once again like believing in myself. But I tried to go back to school, then COVID happened. So I was just like, man, I'll just take some time off.
That makes sense. So as far as your clothing brand, what type of pieces of clothing are you planning on like giving to the world?
So honestly, so far I got trucker hats, fitted caps, hoodies, t-shirts, but I'm just trying to get the world something different. Trying to mix like the high end with the streetwear fashion. That's kind of like the look I'm going for. So right now I'm pushing the streetwear, but eventually I want to go high end, be up there with like Gucci, Louis.
Yeezy? You rocking Kanye?
Yeah, for sure. He big inspiration, especially being black from Chicago. Besides all the political stuff, fashion wise, he got a major impact. Yeah, for sure.
That makes sense. What's your favorite piece of clothing to make?
That I make or yeah?
No, like yourself. Like, what's your favorite?
Probably my hats.
Your hats, yeah.
I feel like it's really a story behind every hat. So my father, he passed away in 2012, but they say when you're on Earth, you in like a cocoon. Then like when you're in the afterlife, you become a butterfly. That's why they say like when butterflies come back and touch you, it's good luck. So I incorporated the butterfly in there, and then I got the skull on this one to signify like the death and everything.
That's powerful, bro.
So
that you put a story behind your clothing. That's kind of crazy to me because I've never heard. I know a lot of people with clothing brands, but nobody ever like said something like that.
It's deep. It's real deep. Like the whole meaning of Meliora is really enlightening. It means the pursuit of the better. So my slogan is "Better days are coming." But a lot of people don't know my mom's nickname is Melly Mel because her name Melanie. So I kind of twist her in there too. Incorporate like everything.
8.9 FM Chicago.
So, like, I was just gonna ask about that. Like, how was that process in coming up with that name? Like, where did that come from?
Honestly, it was just research, but my big bro Roper Rich, he got a clothing brand named Richezza, and Richezza means Italian. It means wealth in Italian. So I'm like, man, that's hard because in English it mean one thing, and then in another language it mean another thing. So I'm like, man, I got to be different too. So I was just looking up. I knew like what I wanted my brand to stand for, but I was trying to figure out the exact word, like the name of the word for the brand. But I knew I wanted to have something that was like motivational, that a lot of people could relate to. Because I feel like with fashion, it's like a way to express yourself. So I express myself through fashion. So I feel like it was a good way to connect with people. I mean, better days are coming. So with the brand and everything, just pursuing, and eventually, you know, a better day is gonna be coming soon.
Have you vendored at any events yet?
Yeah, so I did a pop up. It was at like a SoundCloud event. And it was Juice WRLD's ex-girlfriend. Her name's Starfire, but it was tough. They had like an open mic. It kind of was like a little show, but it was a few other brands there.
Yeah, that's dope.
So I want to build on that right there, because actually that's the direction where I was going. And you know, here go one of them another exciting moments for me where I'm getting a little bit excited. I ain't gonna trip over these words, I promise you I'm not, because I'm so proud of Ryan, man. So anybody that follows him on Instagram, like real talk, he with all the big dogs. Yeah, I'll say the big dogs in the Shy when it comes to musically and just in general, man. Like all the people that's bubbling when it comes to music in the Shy, man. He's right there with them, man. And so, and they're actually, you know, showing line about representing the brand and all that stuff, man. So, man, talk to me, man, about, man, how does it feel, man, to have artists that are literally, man, like the hottest in the streets in the shop, man, like rocking with you, wearing your clothing brand and all that stuff?
I feel good because I feel like I got the support, and it's always genuine. I don't ever try to like force nothing, but it feel good. I feel like it's paying off, but I'm nowhere near where I want to be. So, like, I appreciate the love and everything, but I'm always looking to elevate.
All right, so let me build on that, man, because that gets me excited and everything as far as, like, you know, when you say you're nowhere where you want to be, man, like, talk to us about some different goals that you have set.
For sure.
And, you know, and all that stuff.
So even going back to last year, like going to the baseball games, my one of my goals is just getting at least one baseball game in a year. So that turned into like me figuring it out, and went from me going to like one game every 2 to 3 months to going to, me and my bro ended up going to, I believe we went to 3 games in like 2 weeks. And I was able to give, like, go on field, give a hat to a player. But that's pretty much it, man.
All right, man. And then I want to talk about, man, is, man, other accomplishments outside of what you talked about with the artists and everything, man. What's some other accomplishments that the common person that's listening, viewing, that they should know when it comes to you in general and your brand?
More so I want to connect with people. Like, I want people to understand, like, the meaning of it, that it's more than just a clothing brand. Like, I want people to understand there's a story behind what it really means. Not saying you got to necessarily feel it, but I know a lot of people can relate to working hard, putting in extra hours, trying to get that better life. You know, because everybody got goals, but sometimes it's little humps and stuff that we got to get over. And a lot of people, I feel like they get comfortable too.
Yeah, true. That is true.
So I know you were speaking about like as far as baseball and stuff like that. So what's your favorite baseball team?
The White Sox, for sure. I mean, I like the Cubs too because I done did more business with them, like more players wise. I done gave them more hats, but Sox, that's my favorite team. I grew up on the South Side, so.
We was discussing earlier. You said you've been to LA and stuff. Have you been promoting your brand out there?
Yeah, so I've been networking out there, but it's more so San Diego. I got a buddy that stay out there. His name, shout out KTTV, but he a photographer out there. But bro be helping me a lot. He building his platform. He done shot stuff for JJ Taylor. He played with Mikey Williams. If y'all follow like high school basketball.
Yeah, I know him.
Yeah, he done shot for a Billboard producer named Chill Bands. He done produced for Lil Durk, Babyface Ray. So he doing this thing as well. So it was all about like just networking.
So, man, I'm sitting here, and one thing that comes to mind is, man, the clothing brand is dope and everything. But have you ever had anybody that wanted you to, on top of what you do with the clothing brand, customize something for them?
Yeah, I get a lot of custom requests.
Mm-hmm.
But
And like, what's something that they had you do that, like, of course, they had a visualization as to what it would be, but when you handed it to them, like, it really just like left them speechless. Give me one of them stories.
I kind of don't want to spill the beans because it's an event coming up. So I got 2 artists that I'm making the jacket for, and I had it and everything for a future concert. But I'm looking forward to that. That'd probably be at the top of the list. But besides that, besides like my cousin, that's the thing. Like I tell like my homies and stuff, cause that's who was really wearing it first. But I tell them like just bring me a shoe or something, or tell me what look y'all going for, and then from there I just freestyle it.
Wait, so you customize shoes too?
Nah. So they'll bring me like my cousin will bring me like a pair of shoes, and then I'll bring like the hat or whatever, and then I'll customize it to go with the shoes or something like that.
Okay, that makes sense. That's dope.
Okay, so like for the people that don't really know, like how do you go about the pricing like for certain items and stuff like that you make?
So with the pricing, it all depends on the item. My most expensive piece so far is my hoodies. They retail at $125, but it's the full zip hoodie like Bape. My fitteds, they're at $125, and then my truckers are at $80.
That's decent though, especially for a good product though.
And then I believe in like quality over quantity, so I believe you getting what you're paying for.
Yeah.
For sure.
That's what's up, man. So, like, man, hearing all this stuff, man, and all that stuff, man, where do people go to purchase, see your work and all that stuff, and say, man, look, I want to purchase it, support my bro Ryan?
So they go, if they don't DM my personal account, they I have
Which
an
is what?
My personal account is Ryan5_Finao, which is Ryan5_FINAO. And they usually DM me on my brand page, which is Meliora Clothing _MELIORA Clothing.
That's what's up, man. So, man, it was a pleasure, man, spending this time with you, man.
Sure.
And you know, like, how super proud of you I am. Every time I see you share something, man, I'm always, man, you know, definitely sending you some love, man. Continued success,
Sure.
man. And I'm believing that, man, this that you shared, man, is inspiring for someone that's out there saying, like, man, college isn't for me. This is something I'm inspired to do, is create my own business, man. This is an awesome story, man. Every time we get an opportunity to do something like this, man, it's always special.
For sure.
Wait, before we, what's one piece of advice you would give to a young entrepreneur who's trying to do fashion as well?
I would say, I'll give them a few nuggets, actually. So one of the first things would be, don't be afraid to bet on yourself. Second one, this really should be the first one, but in order to do the second one, you got to bet on yourself, but it's to believe in yourself. So you got to believe in yourself and see your vision before anybody else do. Because people, they believe in you, but they don't see your vision until it's starting to map out and things start falling into place. So you just got to keep your head down and just stay focused. And besides that, the last one will probably be, it's not always what you know, it's who you know. So knowing who you know and networking can get you into doors that a degree can't get you into. For sure that.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true right there. That's real true. Thank you, man.
And just have confidence.
Yeah.
Like, you got to start. So you can't, I feel like that's a big problem with a lot of entrepreneurs, because it was a big problem for me. And it was just getting started. I was more so worried about whether I was going to be successful, or if I was going to have a lot of failure, or if I was going to make a lot of sales. And it's just, you got to bet on yourself and trust yourself.
Amen.
Yeah.